and that's called fractional reserve banking system.
Cause we're gonna be legends, gonna get their attention. What we're doing here ain't just scary, it's about to be legendary. Yeah, we're gonna be legends, gonna teach them all a lesson. Got this feeling in our souls we carry, it's about to be legendary.
Well, banks are considered the highest quality of mankind, and in this video I'm going to be talking about banks, their business model, and how system works, which system they follow, how money goes around and circulates in the process with a business idea of receiving and lending. And let me tell you something more. In terms of economics, banks are considered a very important part in the business culture, with the idea that every company needs money and they can only fund it by the banks through commercial paper, and henceforth money goes back right to the banks through repo market. So you can now understand how important and crucial banks are. Without them, there is no system. Banks are financial service providers. They serve our nation's economy by letting the consumers deposit their savings with the trust of safety. Now, there are two types of banks in this world. One is commercial bank that usually indulges themselves in loan, deposit, these kind of activities. And the second bank is investment bank, which indulges themselves in asset management, trading, brokerages, everything like derivative activities. Now let's talk about commercial bank. Commercial bank are the most frequent visited places by consumers because they have to apply for banking transactions like withdrawals or bill payments. And honestly, the business of banking is not complicated as it may look. Like for any business, the main purpose of that business at the end of the day is to make money for its owners and for shareholders. Now let me get down to what is the purpose of a bank. For most of us, the main purpose is to have a storehold of wealth so that we don't have to carry around cash anymore. And I guess that's why I love banking more than any other field in the world. It's so simple. I've invested more money in banking than any other sector in the world. I'm talking to you and I'm saying this business is so simple. It's so understandable. It's like a black and white film. And yet, from an investor point of view or from a consumer point of view, don't ever try to fall in a trap to think that banker usually opens up a bank out of his kindness to make your lives easier. That doesn't happen. He opens up a bank because he wants to make money. At the end of the game, he's making more money than you can possibly imagine. And from this, I'm going to explain a system in which banks work, how they conduct their business. And that's called fractional reserve banking system. It's a simple method, it's a mechanism basically, in which a deposit holder or a customer, you can say, he deposits his money, and the 10% of his deposits go down to the minimum requirement in the banks, and the rest 90% is lended to other people. Now, I know it sounds very complicated. Let's get down to this. I'm going to explain you very simply. So let's go. Well, now I'm going to explain this fractional reserve banking system in a very simplified manner. I've taken a central bank on the left side and a commercial bank on the right side. This system works on an ideology that no bank has money on their own. They also need to borrow money from central bank. I have taken this and I'm trying to explain this system in a very formal example by taking three paper currencies in the left, as you can see, and or you can say $3 bills. Now when the system gets into action, central bank gives money, or you can say in this example $3 bills to commercial bank, and it is deposited in the vault of a commercial. Now as you can see, $3 that have been deposited in the vault, only one of them is held back and kept as a reserve. Now in terms of banking, reserve is something, it can be money, it can be assets, it's something that is held for future needs in case an emergency situation comes. And the rest too, out of these $3 bills, will be lended to other people. It will be pushed out of the bank. And if that money is lended, then that sure money will be deposited in the same bank or in another bank, but it will be deposited. That's the bottom line. Now I'm going to draw another bank showing that $2 bills. Now as you can see, I have deposited $2 bills, and out of that $2 bills, same procedure applies here. One will be held for reserve and the rest one will be lended and pushed out of the bank. And now I'm going to draw another diagram, another bank of having that $1 deposited in the vault. Now as you can see, I have deposited that $1 in that bank. But did you notice anything strange what's going on in this system? Central Bank was only able to print $3. They were given the allowance to print only $3. But commercial banks, they made $6 out of that $3 in that thin air. So isn't this business very attractive? As you can see, I have noted down that how much money supply we have created. 3 plus 2 plus 1 is equal to $6. And I guess this is just a perfect example where I was given $3 unit base and I was able to multiply that. And if you look this system in $1,000 basis, like if a customer or depositor has $1,000 in his account, 10% of that money will be kept as reserve. It's $100, and the rest $900 will be lended to other people. Then that $900 will be deposited in some bank, and 10% of that $90 will be kept as reserves, and the rest $810 will be lended. And if you conclude this system, $810 and 10% of that $81 will be kept as reserve. And if you do this system over and over again, like mechanism is pretty much the same. We are able to create $10,000 money supply on that $1,000 supply. And that's why banks are so profitable. They are aiming something which we don't even think about. They are aiming that we should at least have 5 years of operating expense to keep the lights on or to keep the business afloat. I hope everybody understood what this business is, how it works. Isn't this business simple? I hope so. So that's why I'm saying in this YouTube channel, I'm gonna simplify all the complicated concepts. So I guess this is it. So I'm gonna take a leave, but by the next week or maybe a couple of days, I'm gonna be uploading a new video. I'll be back with a new video on revenue base of banks, how they earn money, how they multiply money, because that's the most important thing. Multiply it. So stay tuned to my channel. There's more content coming up. Thank you.